Actually, we all have the potential to develop post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, it's one of the 2 psychiatric diagnoses that is based on something having happened to you. The other one is postnatal depression, which obviously you can't get unless you've had a pregnancy. So in order to get PTSD, you have to have been involved in something which is considered sort of threatening to your life or a threat to somebody else's life, or it's involved exposure to sort of death or serious injury. So it's about really unpleasant, horrible experiences. And key in that is the perception that you think you might die, even if it turns out that the risk wasn't as bad as you thought it was. If that's in there, that there was a perception of life being in danger, then that's when there's a potential to develop PTSD. People are remarkably resilient. So most of us, when something awful happens, we manage to bounce back. We pull on our social supports, we pull on our internal resources, and in some way we're able then to kind of really regroup and kind of carry on. But any of us really, depending on the experience or what's happening at our lives at the time, might mean that it's really not possible to bounce back. So there are some experiences that are likely to cause a post-traumatic stress reaction in anyone, and there are some times when any of us might be more vulnerable. But broadly speaking, any of us could develop that reaction if the kind of combination of what we have to deal with and the resources available to help us deal aren't in place. It's important to know that the only thing that is statistically significant in preventing people getting PTSD is social support. It's not what age, gender, previous mental health, those things, they're in the mix, but they're not as significant as how much social support you get. So if you get good social support after you've had a trauma experience, that's really protective. If you have poor social support, if for some reason you're blamed or seem to be at fault in some way, or you're just generally quite isolated, then that increases the risk of becoming unwell. And we can understand that, can't we, is that the task after a traumatic experience is to make a memory, is to kind of come to terms with what the experience means. And however private or self-contained we are, all human beings, you know, kind of function in kind of social relationships, and that's where we're most likely to have the opportunity to talk about it and to think about it and to get our head around what it means. And if that isn't available, then that's more likely for the people who are going to have difficulties.